Hello guys, my name is James, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Episode 2 of Moon Knight begins with Steven waking up back in his room, far away from the drama in the bathroom that ended last week's chapter. Steven eventually trundles back to join JB, the security guard who keeps calling him Scotty, at the museum. Together, they look over the security footage. Interestingly, there's no jackal in sight and the footage shows Steven running around the museum like a headless chicken. Thankfully though, the museum is not going to press charges against the damage caused in the bathroom. Called into his manager's office, Steven is referred to the doctors for his condition but also fired as a result. Brilliant. Anyway, Steven begins to dive deeper into this strangeness that's disrupting his life and, specifically, uncovers a bag inside a storage locker. Passports and a handgun seem to point towards some serious Jason Bourne-esque amnesia going on here. The gold scarab Steven held in the dream town is here too, along with those aforementioned passports listed under the name of Mark Spector. The man in the mirror arrives and promises Steven that he's going to help save him. According to Mark, he's an avatar of Khonshu, the Egyptian god of the moon. Their mission is to protect the innocent and serve justice to those who need it. Steven rushes out the building after seeing Khonshu, but in doing so, runs straight into Layla arriving on her bike. Scooping him up, we learn Layla is actually Mark's wife. Steven, of course, is completely in the dark about all of this. When Layla takes him back to his apartment, Mark's voice echoes through again and tells him to get her out, as he's out of his depth. As Steven begins to dive into his alter ego's life, he speaks to Layla and can't believe that Mark is intending to divorce her. While Steven rambles on and tries to convince Layla what's happening, Mark urges him not to, warning that this could end up getting her killed. Layla eventually finds the golden scarab, pointing out that this is something that leads to Ammit's Shabdi. Steven pleads with Layla for help, admitting he's clueless about this alleged second life he's been leading. A knock at the door brings DC Kennedy and DC Fitzgerald into Steven's apartment. Unfortunately, they find the fake passport and the gun. Naturally, the officers bring him in with handcuffs, claiming that Mark Spector is an international vigilante and killed a whole bunch of archaeologists in the back of the head after cable tying them down. Surprise surprise, these guys are not standard officers and appear to be aligned with Arthur. It doesn't take long for the big bad villain to show up and begin spewing rhetorics about Khonshu, who pipes up in Steven's ear, demanding he kill Arthur. Steven doesn't though, instead agreeing to be shown around this little community Arthur has built for himself. This strange idyllic shantytown sees everyone speaking 3 languages, including Mandarin. It turns out Arthur used to be the Fist of Vengeance, and was one of Khonshu's avatars before Mark/Steven took over. Arthur intends to resurrect Ammit, with the end goal of eradicating evil completely. The scarab serves as a compass, bound to lead them over to Ammit's tomb, which explains why Arthur wants it so badly. As Steven begins to question Arthur's wisdom and teachings, he realizes that Ammit will eradicate evil before it arrives. In other words, innocent lives will be lost, including children. Arthur shrugs it off though, likening it to cutting off a diseased limb. Layla soon arrives, showing off the scarab for all to see. No one bothers to try and grab it though, instead allowing her to waltz into the room, and then rush away with Steven. They eventually hold up in a storage cupboard trying to escape Arthur's followers, who hammer on the storage room they lock themselves in. However, it's not humans outside, it's the jackal. Again. As Steven is knocked out the window, he summons some sort of suit, but he's in charge, not Mark. This weird Deadpool but not quite Deadpool character squares off against this invisible jackal alongside Layla. The scene is a little silly in truth, and in the car reflection, Mark urges Steven to relinquish control. Eventually he does so, transforming into the conventional Moon Knight suit. Leaping across the rooftops, Moon Knight leads the jackal away from the masses and eventually impales it on the spire of a church. Job done. Or it would be had Mark not dropped the scarab, which happens to be on the floor left behind. Arthur eventually gets it and finds himself one step closer to uncovering Ammit's tomb. Meanwhile, Steven finds himself stuck in the reflections, unable to move just like Mark was. This time though Mark is in control and he promises Khonshu that Steven will not interfere again. He's going to find the scarab and find another way to get to Ammit's tomb before Arthur. So naturally, that brings them out to Egypt, and does just that, as he turns into Moon Knight. In doing so, we get our first glance of Moon Knight, complete with glowing white eyes and a white robe.